building and relationship maintenance. So a B2B purchasing decision maker really wants to have as much information on hand as possible to help them make that decision. And so second, I think another really important thing to note that the survey found is that so 47% of businesses or business buying decision makers, so that's nearly half, read at least 6 reviews of a B2B company when making a B2B buying decision. So that really goes to show that 1 review just really isn't enough. And people are really looking for that kind of 6 review threshold to really get a full picture of a company and a business, including, how they work with customers, what kind of services they offer. I think the more reviews you have, the better of a picture you're able to paint for potential B2B buyers. And additionally, we have half of businesses in half of survey respondents saying that the validity of the source is the most important characteristic of an online review. So you could collect your 6 reviews, but really the source of the reviews is just as important as the content and the number. So half of businesses we surveyed really believe that they really want to go to a reputable third-party review source. So sometimes you could go to you could see third-party reviews where it's suspiciously high number of 5-star reviews, or maybe it's just a suspiciously high number of 1-star reviews. So maybe just it's just where, people who are angry go to vent. But really it just goes to show that positive and negative reviews are only as reputable and trustworthy as their source. So when you find the right source for your online reviews and start to collect them, I think that the reputable nature of the site and the validity of that source is going to be something you want to consider as well. And then I think one last really important thing to share is just that these are the top 3 sources of reviews for B2B buyers. So in this survey, 68% of B2B buyers said that company websites themselves are actually the most referenced source for online reviews. So this means that people still will trust that review when a company shares a glowing 5-star review from a third-party aggregator on their website. So if you think about, Trustpilot, or even our own site, we have widgets where companies can share their Clutch reviews on their website. And I think that, and our research just really shows that customers do value that because then that website's able to be this kind of one-stop place to see, okay, what services do they offer? How do they work with clients? And here are some reviews. So here is actually some proof positive that this company, might be a good fit for me. And, the second most popular source of reviews is reviews on search engines. So this is going to be like the Google My Business profile that comes up in the search results. So those are really good things to do if you haven't already done them. But people are actually really finding reviews on search engines, which is something really important to note. But then finally, half of B2B buyers used a B2B ratings and review site like ours to get reviews and to get accurate information about a potential purchasing decision. All right, so this is why, so now we're going to shift gears a little bit into a different survey that we collected a few months ago about user-generated content. And so this is why reviews are actually a really impactful type of user-generated content. So reviews act as social proof. This is, I think, a really important way to think about reviews, is that they really are just pieces of content that help B2B buyers evaluate the quality of the service. So they provide this kind of like affirmation that a blog post or a social post from your own website or team just won't have, because somebody might look at that and say, oh, well, that's just advertorial, the company's just promoting themselves. A review is kind of a third-party person saying, hey, I can confirm that this company really, you can trust them with your money and with your working relationship. And then the second reason is, and I mentioned this before, reviews are essentially user-generated content. So this would be content created by a user or consumer on behalf of your business, knowingly, unknowingly. And, most people, when they think of user-generated content or UGC, you can think of these kind of branded TikTok challenges, or you can think about Instagram stories with a company hashtag. But really at their core, reviews are one of the simplest forms of user-generated content. And just like any type of content that you create yourself, reviews can really be repurposed and kind of slotted into any kind of digital marketing strategy. So just for example, think about, your marketing email campaigns. You can include a screenshot of the review, and maybe with a subject line saying, see what our customers are saying, or read our latest 5-star review. You could also include them as widgets on your website to just again, because most people are looking to a company website to find reviews. You can make sure that they're listed on your company website in a widget, in a graphic, in a blog post, or even supplementing a case study. So all of these formats, or all of these ways that you could think about to repurpose your existing marketing content that comes from in-house, you could essentially do the same thing with a review. And finally, reviews are a really good way to help manage your online reputation. So you can think of it as kind of an extension of your PR strategy or social media strategy, just another place for you to monitor what your customers are saying about you and where. And I do think that this is really important too, because unlike social media, there are a lot of posts, a lot of things to track, a lot of hashtags. Reviews, if you're sending your customers to one place and if you're building it into your sales cycle, it should be pretty straightforward to find and be notified when somebody is posting a new review about you, and just to monitor it accordingly. However, so the one big challenge with reviews is really working a way to get them into your sales cycle. As I mentioned right at the beginning, it can be a little challenging to just at the end of maybe of your working relationship, you're tying up the loose ends to just say, hey, do you mind leaving us a review? So from the user-generated content survey, we surveyed 401 consumers in the US, and only 26% of people say that they're likely to review a product or service on a third-party platform. So that's about 1 in 4 people, which is great. But remember, when we're trying to get to that like magic 6 review number, you really want to help boost that and help entice people to providing reviews in any way that you can. And so Miller is going to go into a little bit more detail about how Clutch can help you and support you in that process of getting reviews listed on your Clutch profile.
Thank you, Kelsey, for the great introduction and data into understanding kind of the benefit of reviews in general. Appreciate you kind of diving into those reports. Also going to share a link of those reports along with the recording if you're interested to learn even more about the kind of where we got that information from. But now we're going to transition over to Miller Douglas, who is, as I mentioned earlier, a senior growth operations analyst here. We'll talk a little bit more specifically about how Clutch can impact and really help you along in the process. Miller comes with just now 2 years of experience working directly with service providers on Clutch. He corresponds with hundreds each month and makes sure vendors are satisfied both with their lead generation efforts and their reviews, and has conducted over 1,000 review calls with happy clients about what the experience was like, and those are now posted on Clutch. I'll talk a little bit about how those reviews are continuing to help vendors to this day.
Yeah, thank you for that intro. So yeah, Kelsey really went over how reviews sort of round out a strategic, marketing plan for your organization. And what I'm going to go over is sort of how Clutch fits in to that whole user-generated content process for your business. So like Kelsey mentioned, reviews are an effective and impactful form of user-generated content. They're a valuable part of any digital marketing process. So where do we fit in? Well, we fit in that we provide a thorough, easy, flexible, and most importantly, quality review collecting process for you and your buyers. We essentially make the whole review process easy for you by taking the burden off of your shoulders and connecting with clients and conducting reviews and doing the heavy lifting for you. And equally as important, we provide this process to you and your business for free. So Clutch is a business-to-business ratings and reviews platform. And I just want to start off with sort of a simple overview of our review process. Service providers will provide their clients information. Clutch gets in contact with your clients. We conduct the review via a few different mediums, and then we process that review and then publish it onto your profile, which is on our site. And what really distinguishes our review process, or the Clutch review process, is really 4 facets. So as you can see, the first facet is our review depth. The second is our editing and curation. The third is our verification of reviews. And then fourth is our flexibility. So starting with review depth, what makes our reviews stand out is most importantly sort of the information that we're collecting. Traditionally reviews in the internet are 4 or 5 sentence word blurbs extolling the virtues of a vendor. Our reviews are a little bit different. Our typical review length is 500 words. We ask a series of questions ranging from services rendered to team composition, project management, project timeline, project size, statistical information, areas of improvement, areas of strength. And then we always end with a series of 5 ratings questions, 1 for quality, 1 for scheduling, 1 for cost, 1 for willingness to refer, and 1 for overall experience. I think what also sets our sort of review depth apart, and the information that we collect apart, is that all of our reviewers, analysts, as well as our online forums are nuanced, so that the follow-up questions that we're asking your clients are using industry standard language depending on the project. So for example, an app development or web development project is going to have different follow-up questions than an accounting or branding or packaging design review would. So this next slide is really showing what the end product is for our review depth, and that is a case study quality style review. This is a sample review. All of the reviews published are going to look similar to this. And as you can see, all of the sort of in-depth information that we collect is succinctly laid out. On the right is your client's information. This one has chosen to remain anonymous. We have the 5 ratings questions. And then we basically have a table of contents for the review at the bottom as well. What we're publishing then is a really thorough, in-depth review. And that's because the buyers coming onto our site are conducting, in-depth research and need a more exhaustive amount of information, which we're able to provide to them. After our reviews have been conducted, they then go through what we call our editorial process. We have an in-house editorial team of about 10 full-time editors, I believe, and their sole purpose is to edit the reviews as they come in, and edit them down for things like clarity, grammar, length, syntax, all that good stuff, to ensure that everything being published on both our site and your profile is of the highest professional grade and quality, and provides the most seamless experience for potential buyers to read and synthesize. So as Kelsey mentioned in her sort of presentation, 50% of businesses cite validity as the most important characteristic of an online review when making a buying decision. And, I think what we are one of the things we're most proud of at Clutch is creating a platform that's committed to trustworthiness, veracity of information. And our third facet of our review process is our verification process. Both buyers and vendors have come to rely on the content that we publish because it is trustworthy. All of the reviews that we publish are verified. We request identification for identity and work history, project and services. And we're basically ensuring that no review being published is fake. And by fake, what I mean is, there's no conflict of interest. It's not a family member or employee being instructed to leave a fake review, or maybe it's rooting out a competitor who's trying to, tank the ratings of another profile. And every review, regardless of how short, long, in-depth, whatever, that we publish, is going to have that Clutch stamp of approval that it has been verified by our team. Flexibility. We want to make this process as easy and pain-free for not only you, but the clients that you're allowing us to connect with to leave a review. We provide a number of different options for your clients to leave a review. Most commonly, that's going to be either using our online form or by setting up a time to speak with one of our analysts. In select instances, we'll also accept Word document reviews. But whatever your client situation is, we're flexible and we will work with them to collect a review in the easiest manner possible for them. We do a lot of work with, since we're based in the DC area, we do a lot of work with governmental agencies, larger nonprofits, NGOs, bigger organizations that are subject to a lot of NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. And we're sensitive to that, which is why we'll also provide your clients the option of attributing their comments or remaining anonymous. If they choose to remain anonymous, our editorial team is diligent in scrubbing the review for any identifying information about either their company or themselves. And your clients also have, they can partially attribute or partially remain anonymous, whatever works for them, we're happy to accommodate. And then finally, we do have select availability for other reviews left in other languages, as well as time zones that are a little bit more extreme to our Eastern Standard Time. So this slide is an example of what your unique review page will look like. Every vendor will have a unique landing page that they can provide to their clients. And essentially, it provides them the option of leaving a review online or over the phone. And as you can see, the phone option actually provides really two avenues for them to take. If they, have no time except for the immediate present to leave a review, we provide them a number to call in to do so. Or if they prefer to sort of book in advance, they can select a time and/or day that works best for them to do so. So the end product is a vetted, thorough review process where Clutch takes the sort of, like I said, burden off of your hands, and it does the work and heavy lifting for you. We collect more than just a simplified review, but a really in-depth case study quality testimonial that's been edited and vetted for your organization. So how does our platform amplify your business? Well, we've reviewed what distinguishes our review process, how we do the heavy lifting for your business, how we help you advertise your reviews. But how does our platform help actually amplify your business? Well, let's take a quick look at really who we are, what our platform is. As I mentioned briefly, we are a business-to-business ratings and reviews and research firm. We are based out of Washington, DC. We provide a streamlined way for your company to collect high quality review content. And in addition to this, we also provide significant value for your business on our actual platform itself. And our Clutch platform has really three goals. Our first goal is to assist most of you who are service providers or vendors in generating new leads and new business. But we also want to help buyers make more informed decisions about the vendors they choose to partner with. And our commitment to both buyers and vendors is because we want to really facilitate and empower fruitful working relationships that extend past whatever the initial project was that brought both parties together. So a little bit about our platform itself and our company. We are a growing team of about 80 plus. Currently, we host over 50,000 service provider profiles. We conduct or have conducted over 60,000 client reviews. And then this last statistic is what I want you to pay most attention to. This is sort of the ground or bedrock for the value that our platform can provide to your business. And that's our site traffic. Clutch receives over 700,000 unique visitors per month, and that number grows by about 50% year over year. So how did you get here? Most of the vendors on our site came to Clutch one of two ways. By either submitting a company profile, which our team then QAs and publishes, or they claimed a profile that was built by our team and that you found either through a Google search of your company or through one of our marketing emails. But it is important to note that the majority of vendors listed on Clutch are submitted. So we are publishing anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 new profiles per month that are submitted by vendors and then QA'd by our team before they're published. But let's get back to how our platform is generating value or can generate value for your business. So how are the majority of those site visitors, those 700,000 plus visitors, utilizing Clutch? Well, the majority of buyers begin their Clutch journey through Google, actually, with the majority of our buyers finding Clutch directories via any given business-to-business keyword term search on Google. So the next slide is a sort of example of exactly how Clutch generates value through Google and in turn for your business. So with the majority of buyers coming to Clutch via keyword term searches, we appear on the number 1 or 2 SERP result for any given keyword term search. And along with our sister site, The Manifest, we hold the number 1 and 2 spots respectively. So this slide shows you an example of a keyword term search. Since we're a Washington, DC based company, we decided to do top branding companies, Washington, DC. And it's important to note that we highlighted that Clutch ranks in the number 1 position, with our sister site, The Manifest, ranking in the number 2 position. I do want to note that we rank in the top 1 and 2 spots for organic and not paid results. So the majority of those 700,000 unique visitors per month are conducting keyword term searches such as the one shown here, finding the directory that correlates with their keyword term search. So for example, the branding agency Washington, DC directory, and then clicking into that directory and then finding your business. But how can you distinguish yourself on the directory to ensure that a buyer is actually finding your business on the directory that you're listed on? And really the best way to generate value for your business is through reviews. So reviews help you unlock the benefits of our platform. And here are the 4 main benefits that your first review will help you unlock for your business. And this is what success looks like on our platform and how we help you generate value on Clutch. Starting with our first benefit, starting with your first review, our review process will help you inside and outside of Clutch. And the first benefit that it'll help you with is visibility. So reviews, specifically your first review, will help increase your visibility on Clutch. Clutch provides a number of business directories for you to list on. And then to reiterate, we see over 700,000 unique visitors across the various directories that we provide. And they're finding these directories, again, through Google keyword term searches. So reviews will help you appear higher on the directories that you list on. For example, if we look at the left image, someone were to search, top web designers in Canada, this would appear as the #1 organic SERP result. They click into this directory, and if you've had reviews collected, you'll rank higher in that directory. Your first review will help you rank higher than every other profile without reviews. So in addition to ranking higher on the directory itself, your first review will also help you generate more profile views as listed, or sort of sample profile image on the right, which in turn generates more visibility for your business and then ultimately more leads. Your first review at Clutch also entitles you or will make you eligible for what we call a Clutch evaluation. You receive a full evaluation by our team, and then you're eligible for inclusion in our award cycles. We have a number of award cycles every year. For example, the most recent ones have been our state-by-state awards, which we tier out by city. And then at the end of every year, we have a global award as well. Inclusion in our award cycles also makes you eligible for inclusion in our press releases and specialty badges when leaders are announced. On the top right are an example of sort of what that badge looks like. For example, top web designers, Cincinnati, top app developers, New York Cities. And in addition to our award cycle, or in conjunction with our award cycle, we also make physical awards available for purchase to hang in your office or desk, etc. Thirdly, your first review, when it is collected and published to your profile, taps you into our Clutch marketing team. Once your first review has been published, you gain access to our own in-house marketing team. Our marketing team's leads will be in touch to congratulate you, as well as provide additional marketing collateral for you to implement periodically, such as ghostwritten blog posts and other customizable content. It's important to note that we keep track of your profile's activity. We will know when your reviews are being published, when your first has been published. And so in addition to doing the heavy lifting for the reviews, we're always going to be keep tabs on when your first review is published and know when to reach out for these activations. So no need to do anything on your end. Once your first review has been published, our marketing team will also be in touch with other marketing activations to help show off and advertise your success. This slide is an example of our suite of online reputation management tools, which help you as a service provider build trust with potential clients, as well as advertise your own testimonials. We provide a number of different widget options, as you can see, ranging from small to large and showcasing everything from just your star ratings to the actual text of the review. We do make this process streamlined and easy as well. Our marketing team will be in contact with you to help walk you through implementing them on your social media or website. And it's really as simple as copy and pasting the code that we provide into the body of your website. Get featured. So after your first review is published, you have a number of opportunities to be featured in other Clutch promotions. I briefly mentioned that at the end of each year, we do a Global Leaders Award, where we look at the leaders in industries worldwide and determine the top leaders in a given industry. When your first review is published, you also will have the option to participate in our verification program, where we partner with our third party to vet and verify your organization, which will bring an added layer of trust and veracity to your Clutch profile. And then finally, after your first review is published to your profile, you will be eligible to list on our sister platforms. Clutch is really a site portfolio of 3 websites, the main one being Clutch. But then we also have the manifest and visual objects. And by listing on the manifest, which is our long form blog style site, you can potentially see exposure to another 100 to 180,000 visitors per month. So finally, and probably most importantly, collecting and publishing your first review on your Clutch profile will unlock the benefit of qualified leads. So as I mentioned, our platform, our first and foremost, our goal is to help you generate new leads. And collecting your first review will help you generate qualified leads for your business. Here are some testimonials we have, highlighting sort of the quality of our platform. As you can see, our first testimonial shows that the large list they were working with of 200 companies, Clutch ratings and reviews played an integral part in them narrowing down the service provider they went with. A lot of vendors are finding, buyers are finding their vendors on Clutch. And then the testimonials that they were able to read about the vendor helped them narrow down and make their decision. So just to wrap up, I want to leave you all with some takeaways. So the first takeaway, as Kelsey mentioned in her presentation, online reviews should be incorporated into your company's holistic marketing strategy. And Clutch will support you in these marketing efforts by making collecting reviews easy and pain-free for your business. To reiterate, we provide a thorough and free review service to supplement or replace your own efforts. And then we help you showcase your reviews a number of different ways, either through your profile or one of our widget options. But reviews are a great way to market your business inside our platform as well. Not only do reviews help you advertise, to the larger community, but they help you succeed on Clutch. Collecting reviews will generate multiple streams of value for your Clutch profile. Specifically, your first review will begin to help increase your profile's visibility, help your profile rank higher on the directories you're listed in, and then generate more visibility and leads for your business by helping get you closer or in front of those 700,000 unique visitors we receive per month.
Awesome. Thank you, Miller, for that great introduction to kind of highlight how people can get started on Clutch. Now we got some questions in the Q&A throughout. Definitely drop some more in there. Kind of just keep it open for anything that we can answer broadly right now. But if you aren't ready to get started, you can always just go submit some references now to collect your first review. And of course, I'm going to follow up with an email with the recording of this webinar, as well as the whole deck as a PDF and the resources from Kelsey's research I mentioned before that you can check out for some more information. But look forward to connecting with all of you later as well. Happy to answer some questions off the bat. I see one we got from Ashish about kind of the research that Kelsey presented on. So Kelsey, if you want to take this on kind of where the 26% number comes from consumers likely to leave reviews.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this is from a survey that we actually conducted on another sister website that we run called Visual Objects, where we surveyed, I think around like 400 people. Let me go back and just make sure I'm giving you the right information. But yeah, so we surveyed a number of people, but this is just consumers. So it's not unlike the B2B buying survey, where we only surveyed people who made B2B purchasing decisions. We surveyed consumers, and we found that about 1 in 4, so 26% of people said that they would respond to or that they would leave a review on a third-party website. But I will say it's important to note that that's just self-reporting, right? So that's just somebody saying like, hey, oh, I would leave a review or I wouldn't, but I think if only 1 in 4 people forever always were leaving a review, I think we wouldn't see the popularity of review sites the way we do now. So I hope that provides a little bit more context as the data there.
Yeah, thank you. And then also definitely check out the report to learn even more. Thanks, Kelsey. And next one for Miller about how potential prospects reach Clutch and can start learning about service providers? I think you touched on a little bit, but kind of just touching a little bit more on what brings potential prospects to Clutch.
Yeah, how potential prospects reach to Clutch. So, I mean, I think, I don't know. So service providers for the most part are finding us and finding you based off of, like I mentioned, that keyword term search on Google that pulls up the business directory, which correlates to their keyword term search. And then if you've collected a review, you should be ranking higher or high enough on the directory to get in front of that site visitor or buyer. If your inquiry is about how buyers can then connect with your company, if you go on your profile, or if you don't have a profile yet, we provide a number of options. We provide a contact form on your profile that they can reach out to you through. Admin, or not, sorry, admin, but sales or contact email and phone number, which you can list on your profile. And then we also provide a direct link to your company's website for that person to go on to. So really, we provide multiple different ways for buyers to get in touch with you.
Awesome. Thank you, Miller. And I think this next question, maybe all of us will have an answer to kind of help provide, which is what's the minimum number of reviews that you'd consider enough to be on our website, on search engine results, on Clutch, or on your website, I guess, on kind of the company itself's website. In terms of your website, it's kind of up to like how many reviews you want to list. But definitely, you know, as we mentioned, that 6 review threshold is kind of what our research started to show. I don't know, Miller or Kelsey, if you can shed any further light on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I want to impress upon is that your first review really unlocks a huge amount of value for your profile and for your business on Clutch, from helping generate visibility to making you eligible for our different marketing activations. So even your first review is a great place to start, and you'll see a lot of value with that first review. In terms of minimum number, that's more of a nuanced answer. To be completely candid, some areas are a little bit more competitive. You know, our New York City directory is going to be a little bit more competitive than, for example, maybe like our Cleveland, Ohio directory would, which is why to start off with, you may need a few more reviews if you're in the New York City area versus if you're in Cleveland, simply because the number of vendors is, there's a lot more vendors in a metro area like New York than Cleveland. And typically when you get going on your profile, we, you know, recommend the more the merrier in terms of reviews. But it's really up to your how comfortable you are, your cadence. But starting off with that first one is the best place to start.
Awesome. Thanks, Miller. And maybe another one for you, Miller, is where does Clutch rank in like the online source validity category, and what is that based upon? I think that's kind of, you know, Jack asked this question, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but kind of referring to our verification process to make sure that all of the reviews on our site are valid. And I don't know, Miller, if you want to kind of dive back into that. I know you touched on the presentation, but I think that's really, Clutch sets itself apart with that process. And you know.
Yeah, I'm a little confused with this question as well. I don't know if online source validity category is a publication, but I can give you some more information on sort of, I guess, our commitment to, you know, our integrity and trustworthiness. Our founder started Clutch because as a, you know, he was a management consultant and sourcing vendors for his own projects online. He found that the information out there was highly untrustworthy, made the process that much more murkier. and difficult to source quality vendors because you couldn't find any trustworthy information on them. So he started Clutch in 2013, originally called Sourcing Line, as a solution to a personal problem he was having. And his goal, first and foremost, was to create a platform built on trustworthy content, one that both buyers and vendors could rely on for its truthfulness, and that buyers could rely on because they knew we would be committed to only publishing trustworthy and truthful content about the vendors, which is why our verification process is there to ensure that what we are publishing on our profile actually did occur. Nothing is misleading. We don't allow anything to publish that we even feel could be a fake or misleading review. And that's our personal commitment to trustworthy content.
Yeah, and Jack, thank you for the clarification in the chat, and I think that also kind of sets us up in terms of kind of how we compare to other online review platforms, is that we really value this verification process. I'm unclear as to kind of, I think it depends on the buyer as to how they weigh Clutch versus other review sites. But I think that because we kind of give this certification behind our reviews, that's one, definitely an extra step, especially when 50% of buyers are really looking for that validation step in comparison to other review sites they're looking at. And also highlight that Clutch, being focused specifically on business to business services, gives a much better perspective on business services rather than kind of a site that both serves business to business and business to consumer services. I don't know if Kelsey or Miller, you have anything else to add there?
Yeah, I would just add, just to clarify about the survey and the research that we did. So we didn't necessarily survey whether or not Clutch ranks in relation to another company. We really just, I think the question was posed specifically about, what do you look for? What do you consider when you consider the validity of a review? So really half of the businesses just said validity and reputability of the source rather than having them, rank any source in particular. I hope that helps clarify a little bit.
Yeah, Jack, we can definitely continue the discussion, but we do have some other good questions. I know Yuri asked, mentioned the top 1,000 might not be the most useful. Do we have a top 20 or top 50? And one thing I want to highlight there is the top 1,000 is for all different services on Clutch. So it includes both, accountants, web designers, digital marketers, app developers. So hopefully not all of those will help you, and you're looking for specifically a certain type of service provider. But we do also have a specific top 100, Clutch 100 that we're trying to roll out as well, and list kind of by service industry as well to kind of help kind of focus in on those to allow you to have just the top 20 app developers to choose from. You can always dive further into our results as well. And hope that answers your question, Yuri. And this next one from Patrick, I think I'm going to pass over to you, Miller, about kind of collecting reviews from some previous clients. And how can we drive clients to submit those reviews?
Yeah, so great question. Yes, as any past or current clients were able to collect a review from, there really just has to have been some exchange of payment, and work needs to have been completed for the most part. I'm happy to connect with you more in depth as well, but essentially, we will provide you with your unique landing page that I showed an example of. You can send that to your clients directly if you'd like, which will they can click and then begin either the online form or schedule a review. Or if you'd prefer, we also provide what we call our client submission form, where you can submit your client's information directly to us through our platform, name, email, etc., and then we'll reach out to your clients directly if you prefer to have us reach out to them directly.
Yeah, I think we have one last question that Mel, if you want to answer about kind of what our other language capabilities look like. I know that confirm?
So I did mention we have select language capabilities. It's a case-by-case basis. We have different analysts with different language capabilities. In the past, we've done, I believe, Spanish and Russian, maybe some French. It's not the request to do a review in a different language is not a request we see often, which is why we do have to case by case to see what our availability is on our team.
Cool. Well, thank you both for kind of answering the questions that we got throughout the presentation, and thank you all for coming, staying with us, kind of allow you to give back some more of your afternoon here. If you do have any other questions, please still drop them in now if we can't answer them right now. Yep. Thank you, Geraldine, for coming. Thanks for being an active participant in the chat, and definitely look out for that email coming from me again in the next probably hour to 2 hours with a recording of the webinar and some more information to follow up with. But thank you all again for coming, and I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon or evening, depending on where you are.